What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're gonna do some stuff with the V6 MR2. Specifically, I took this car to an autocross event. For those who have never watched any of the videos, this is my 93 MR2 that I won in a raffle. That's literally no joke. It was in pretty bad shape, fixed it up since then. This car has a Honda V6 with an M90 blower on it. And in case you see him in the background, this is Yoshi. He likes to sit in the chair like a human. Before this event, I made pretty substantial changes to the car, such as like switching out spring rates, putting in that suspension geometry kit, also changing up the alignment. I was feeling pretty hopeful that these changes were gonna make a really positive impact and make that performance easier to access. Historically, that has not been the case. The car's always had the power, but putting it down has been a different story. We're gonna start going through some of the runs. Full transparency, we're gonna pretty much skip over run number one. If I showed you guys the full footage from run number one, I would literally be having to bleep out every few seconds. As I was driving, every other word that came out of my mouth was a curse word, and the reason for that was a combination of excitement, but also me just being really scared. With how quickly it got up to speed, it honestly just scared me because I really wasn't expecting that. The car, I could instantly tell, is totally different, and I really started feeling like a fish out of water and just realizing that I'm gonna have to learn how to drive this car again because it's completely different. And with that, let's go to run number two. Run number two was really about continuing just to get comfortable with the car. You know, I already had the shell shock from run number one, so I knew what to expect in terms of speed. At that point, I thought that I could kind of start trying to push the car little by little in baby steps. And it was really nice to find how forgiving the car was at the limit. Like on that second right-hand turn on the corner exit, I overdid it a little bit too much and the car just started pushing, but it was really easy to reel back in. While that was nice, I still felt like a fish out of water. It was like overload for me because I was just processing so much information on, you know, how the car handles now and everything. Previously, the car was just like super tail happy, and now it's a lot more neutral. I would say it has a slight bias towards some understeer, but it's completely manageable. It's just a different style, but then also taking in that speed difference. Run number four is actually where I started to get comfortable with the car, so we'll hop into that one. Run number four is when I feel like I did start kind of piecing some stuff together. Off the line, I didn't launch it hard, but still going off that straight, man, it was just ripping. And then going into that left-hand corner, I actually braked way too early. And the reason for that is the brakes on this car absolutely suck now. So right now, I'm actually just running EBC yellow pads in the back. There's Yoshi. And then in the front of the car, I'm running no-name pads. When I hit the pedal, it feels fine. These pads just don't have good initial bite to help slow the car down. I'm not gonna get like a big brake kick. That doesn't make sense in this situation, mainly because my issue's not like excessive heat buildup causing brake fade. It's just the pads aren't that good. And if I got something that had better initial cold bite, that would be more appropriate. Coming out of that left-hand turn, I was very very excited with how, even though I was a little too aggressive with the throttle application, the back end started to kick out, and all I had to do was a little bit of counter steer, and I was just able to ride out the slide. The car was so easy to handle, even though I'd passed the limit of grip. At previous events, anytime I pushed past the limit of the car, the back end kicked out so quick, and I ended up just spinning out. I feel like I cannot stress enough how much easier the car is to drive at the limit. It's really amazing and also confidence inspiring. The car is also really composed over bumps. After the right-hand turn, there's a gate, and right before that gate, there's a little bump. The car was able to soak up the bump pretty well. Those bumps were actually pretty nasty at the course. Here's a picture of another driver as he was going over one of them. Going into that final right-hand turn, I definitely screwed that up just because I wasn't looking far enough ahead, but I didn't set myself up well for the slalom. But even then, when I hit the finish, I noticed that my time was a 39.2, which it really hit me like how quick the car could actually be. And there was just under 100 people who went to that event, and this car ended up taking 10th overall. That's raw time, not packs. At local events, this car definitely has the capability or performance to hit top time of the day. I will say though, national events, there's no way in heck this car would ever be competitive. I'm totally realistic about that. But still, the fact that locally it can be competitive like that is something that I'm very excited about. I know I've said this before, but I just need to get more comfortable with the new setup on the car, which is something I'm fairly confident I can do because I only had 4 runs. I mean, that's like 40 seconds a piece. We're talking about a couple minutes. So to get that comfortable with the car that quick, I'm very, very happy with that. There was 5 runs total. Unfortunately, I didn't take my 5th run because I made a miscalculation. I have rolled the fenders a little bit in the rear, just the lip, but apparently I didn't do it enough because it started digging into the wheel, and it actually dug into the sidewall here, so I think that may have been a very expensive mistake. The thing is though, if we come over to the other side, totally fine, not an issue at all. There are 2 to 3 more events that are gonna happen this year. It is very possible I take this car out one more time. It really just depends on the weather. As much as I enjoy driving, I don't enjoy being cold and wet. We'll see if that ends up happening. Overall, this car 100% lived up to the hopes that I had for it. My buddy actually sent me some footage of one of my runs from the outside, and to see the way that it accelerated, I was like, that's absolutely amazing. I can't believe that's my car. Obviously, I'm happy with the car. So is Yoshi. He actually wants to go for a car ride. It's wet though, so we'll do that a different day. Anyways, that's all I got for this video. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.